Hello everyone, welcome back to Bull and Watch channel. And guys, today I want to review this Omega Seamaster Aqua Terra 38.5mm master coaxial. This watch was released back in 2013, and today I want to give you my thoughts, what I think about this watch, and should you buy one. So yeah, without further ado, let's get down to it. So guys, yeah, let's talk about this watch. Okay, this watch is a very beautiful watch. This watch was worn back in 2012 by Daniel Craig in one of his James Bond movies, the Skyfall. If you haven't checked out Skyfall, the movie, I really recommend that movie. I think that's like the best James Bond movies that I've ever seen in my life. Okay, so far my favorite from Daniel Craig's movies. So he wore this Omega 38.5mm with a blue dial, all the basically the same spec, the 38.5mm with a blue dial. So this watch has become I think quite classic, quite iconic. The watch has been discontinued by the Omega by Omega, so they come out with a new one. So this is the previous generation of Seamaster Aqua Terra, but I think a lot of people still like this version compared to the new version because of the teak pattern. Here this comes with the vertical teak pattern compared to the new one that offers the horizontal teak pattern, and then also the date is on the 3 o'clock instead of 6 o'clock like the new one. So yeah, a lot of people still like this version of Aqua Terra, and today I'm gonna give you my thoughts about this timepiece. Okay, so first let's talk about the dial first. Okay, the dial, this one is 38.5mm, and the thickness of the case is 13mm, and the dial is blue color. So Omega actually released a lot of colors for this Omega Seamaster Aqua Terra. They come out, from what I understand, they came out with black dial, blue dial, the white or silver dial, or maybe other colors that I'm not aware of. But to me, okay, this, as the name suggests, this is the Aqua Terra, so it has something to do with water. So I think the blue dial is the best among all, and so that's why I'm getting the blue dial. I'm getting this from a collector at a very good deal. He gave me very good price. I just basically couldn't resist not to get it. Actually, if you follow my channel, you are probably aware that I bought my first serious timepiece was Omega Seamaster Aqua Terra, exactly the same like this, but mine from few years back in 2017 I bought it, was 41.5mm. So Omega actually released two different sizes. So Omega released the 41.5, and this one is 38.5. So the one that was worn by Daniel Craig was this one, the 38.5. So I bought the 41.5mm back then. A few years back, I finally sold it after owning it for like about 2 months because I thought the case diameter was a bit too big. I have a very small wrist, about 6.3 inches. So when I have an opportunity right now to get to acquire this timepiece at a very good price, very irresistible price, and 38.5mm, so I just jump in. Okay, I figured that I wanna get this again, because the proportion I think is gonna be a lot nicer at 3mm smaller size. I think it will fit better to my smaller wrist, and so yeah, so this one is 38.5mm, so it's very amazing because there are not a lot of watches out there with a 38.5. There are a lot of watches with, not a lot, there are a few watches that I can think of, like Tudor Black Bay 58, a Rolex Explorer. The case diameter is 39mm, but this one is 38.5mm, so which is a little bit very uncommon, but it's actually a very beautiful proportion. Okay, so 38.5mm, very classic size, and then the thickness is 13mm. So something, in terms of thickness, some people probably think that this is fairly thick, which I agree, 13mm, but because the case diameter is 38.5mm, so I think it's still okay. I still like the proportion. And now let's talk about the dial, guys. The dial is blue color. This blue is very amazing. I'm telling you this, at this price range, right? If you like blue dial, you can really consider this timepiece. I'm serious about this. I think this is the best blue dial that I've ever seen at this price range. Nothing comes close to it. The blue is navy blue, and very very dark. So if I say there's no light, you know, like if I say you're indoor and the lighting is poor, the blue is actually gonna turn like black. So people can get mistaken, you know, when they see a watch, they'll probably be like, oh, okay, you're wearing like a black dial watch. Well, in fact, it's actually blue color. But then it depends on the light. So depending upon the light, you know, how strong the light hit the dial, the blue will change its color. You know, when there's no light, you're gonna see it like a black color dial. But then when it's exposed to light, you can see like right now in front of us here, you can see like there's a sunburst effect, and you can see actually it's a blue color, and it's very beautiful, you know. I'm not really a big fan of blue color. Matter of fact, I like normally I like black color the best, because I'm a boring guy. But then if you like blue color, you know, you can definitely you know, take this into consideration. I think this one has the best blue dial at this price range. The blue is very beautiful. Even me as a guy who really like black color, you know, I'm amazed by the beauty of this blue dial that's offered by Omega here. So yeah, and then the dial is very sharp. We have date complications here at 3 o'clock. Like I said before, Omega came out with a new Aqua Terra back in 2018, I think. And then they changed the tick pattern, and also they moved the date from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock, and some people don't like it. I still remember when they came out with the new version, a lot of people just basically bashed the new Aqua Terra. They were like, oh man, I like the 3 o'clock, I like the date at the 3 o'clock. I think it's more conventional, more common. And I kind of agree. I mean, I don't really mind at 6 or 3, you know, but I think if I have to choose, I also prefer the date to be at 3 o'clock. And the version that was worn by Daniel Craig in Skyfall movie was actually the 38.5 millimeter coaxial. So here, the one that I'm reviewing right now is 38.5 millimeter master coaxial. And the difference is just the master coaxial, according to Omega, is more resistant to magnet compared to the coaxial version. But you know, I think it should be true. But regardless, both of them, coaxial or master coaxial, I think they are both very very resistant to magnetic force. Definitely, like, you know, I think for daily usage, I bet you won't be able to tell the difference between both of them, you know, unless you really are exposed to like very very ultra strong magnetic force around you. And then the other difference between this one and the one that was worn by Daniel Craig, besides the master coaxial for this one and coaxial for the one that was worn by Daniel Craig, is that the one that I'm reviewing right now here, master coaxial, doesn't have a date frame at 3 o'clock here, but the one that was worn by Daniel Craig, it has a date frame at 3 o'clock. So that's the only difference. And the bracelet, this one comes with a PCL, polished standard link for the bracelet, but the one that was worn by Daniel Craig was completely brushed, the bracelet. Okay, so those three differences are the only differences between this one and the one that was worn by Daniel Craig. But pretty much other things, they are basically the same, you know. So I would say like 95% is the same watch. So this is why, like, I'm telling you right now, I'm reviewing a watch that was worn by Daniel Craig, you know, even though it's technically speaking, like, he didn't really wear it like exactly 100%. You know, the watch that he wore in Skyfall, but I would say like it's basically the same, you know. And me personally, I actually like this master coaxial compared to the previous generation of the coaxial one that was worn in Skyfall movie, because I don't really like the date frame at 3 o'clock. Yeah, so but other things is the same. Okay, so yeah, the dial is very very beautiful, and then all the hour markers is all applied. Which is something that I really like from Seamaster Aqua Terra line. You know, like Speedmaster, one of the big family in Omega watches. Like the Omega in Speedmaster is all printed, you know, like the logo it's not applied. But here you can see like the hour marker, the Omega logo, the Omega letter, there all is applied. So which is, I think, which gives exclusivity for the watch. So it's very, very beautiful. And then so yeah, it's a very, very beautiful dial, guys. 38.5 millimeter. The proportion is nice. It's a sporty dress watch, so it's very versatile. So if you are you know, you can basically take this watch for swimming, doing sport. It's a tough watch. It comes with 150 meters water resistance, and then it comes with a screw down crown, so it definitely can swim with it. But also at the same time, with a dial that's dressy like this, you can technically, I mean, go to the meeting, go to the office with this. You go to a wedding or any formal occasion. You wear this piece, you're gonna look really sharp. So yeah, very versatile watch with a very beautiful dial. You know, with this thick pattern, horizontal. It's very nice. And then let's talk a little bit about the movement, guys. The movement is Omega Co-Axial 8500. Omega, with the new generation of Omega Aqua Terra, they came out with the Omega Caliber 8900. But it's pretty much the same, you know. The difference is just the Omega 8900, they assign Meta's certification or something, you know, like it's Meta's certified. So it's I don't know, basically there's no difference whatsoever. It's just you're paying for a certification, you know. But basically they're basically the same. Okay, so the movement is quite beautiful, even though I don't think this is hand finished, but you can see like Omega decorated pretty much at a pretty good level, I would say. You can see like this wave pattern here, very nice. That's why they have like open case back to showcase the movement. Yeah, Omega, it comes with double barrel. The power reserve is 60 hours and beats at 25,600 beats per hour. So yeah, very nice, very nice. 60 hours. And remember, guys, this watch was released back in 2013. So back in 2013, a lot of watches had power reserve of only 48 hours. So this one has 12 hours extra, so about half a day. Yeah, so it comes with a 60 hours power reserve, and and you can see like the screws, you know, it's all, you know, it has like this purple pinky, you know, pink purplish screws. Yeah, very, very nice, very beautiful. So you can see like Omega, when it comes to movement, like Omega decorated a lot more compared to Rolex. Rolex doesn't bother to have this open case back because their movement is ugly. But Omega, you can see like it's actually quite beautiful. Even though it's a little bit thick, you know, some people, a lot of people complain about it, but Omega listen to their fans, you know, that's the difference. So you can see like with their most recent releases, they really start to reduce the thickness of their watches, like with the new chronoscope, the Speedmaster chronoscope that they just released, you know, the thickness was only 12.8 millimeter. So they start reducing the thickness of their watches, I mean, these days. Yeah, you guys, it's a very beautiful watch. You can see like there's a nice beveling here, you know, makes the watch looks more elegant. And then this watch, yeah, Omega Caliber 8500, very, very resistant to magnetic force. Omega claims that it can withstand up to 15,000 Gauss. And very, very beautiful, guys. You know, like Rolex Milgauss from Rolex. Again, I keep comparing Omega to Rolex because I think the main competitor of Omega watches is Rolex watches. Okay, and yeah, so from Rolex lineup, you know, we have like Rolex Milgauss. Rolex Milgauss, they claim it can withstand up to 1,000 Gauss of magnetic force. Okay, but this one, Omega says that this one can withstand up to 15,000 Gauss. So it's actually 15 times more resistant to magnetic force compared to Rolex Milgauss. So it's just crazy, basically. Unless you work in the extreme magnetic force around you, I don't think, you know, you will have any problem with magnet whatsoever wearing this watch. You can travel with this watch. You can do a lot of things. You know, you can travel when you go through the metal detector or something like that. it will not impact the accuracy of this watch. And by the way, talking about accuracy, this watch is very accurate as well. The accuracy I tested, it gains about 1 second a day, which is basically a super COSC. The COSC standard is -4 to +6 seconds. This one +1 second, so it's basically on par with any Rolex watches that I've owned in the past. Is comparable. Very, very accurate, insanely accurate, guys. So yeah, guys, that's a little bit about this watch. And I think if I have to give my criticism, what can be improved from this watch, I think in terms of lume, the lume is not so strong, it's not so bright on this watch, even though it's actually beautiful. The lume is blue color, matches with the dial here, blue dial. So yeah, it could be improved. I think the lume could be stronger. And then also again, the other flag that I can give for this watch is this one, the thickness, 13 millimeter. Some people probably bash Omega because, oh yeah, it's too thick, 13 millimeter. Yeah, it could be better, like Rolex Explorer. This is actually the comparable watch from Rolex for this watch is actually the Rolex Explorer 1. And Rolex Explorer 1, I think it's about 12 millimeter. So this one is definitely like about 1 millimeter thicker than Rolex Explorer 1. But it's actually not a big deal either. 1 millimeter, I mean, it's still manageable. It's not like 14 or 15 millimeter like Omega Planet Ocean. I wore it before. Oh my god, that one is very thick, and I didn't find it like comfortable. But this one at 13 millimeter, I think, yeah, it could be thinner, it could be improved, but it's not like a deal breaker. Okay, those two are the things that I can think of that can be improved on this watch. But outside of those two, we have a watch that's very, very versatile, very beautiful dial with all applied hour markers, logo, very insanely accurate, very beautiful dial, very beautiful color. The blue is the best I've ever seen at this price range. Nothing comes close. I have handled like quite a lot of watches, guys, and nothing from IWC or Rolex or whatever like that can comes close with the blue dial. This watch, the blue is very, very beautiful. You can see, like, it changed color. It has sunburst effect. If you are this kind of person who like blue color, like sunburst effect, you're gonna love this watch. And at 13 millimeter of thickness and 38.5 millimeter diameter, I think the proportion is also very, very nice for a watch this size. Well, you can have 6.5 inches wrist to 7 to 7.5. You wear this, it's gonna look good on you. Okay, so yeah, the dial is very beautiful, insanely accurate, very resistant to magnetic force. Yeah, I mean, what more you want? It's a very versatile timepiece. It's a very, very versatile timepiece. If you only want to have one good quality watch from Omega brand, this could be it. This could be the one. I had mine back then, a few years back, 41.5 mil, and I sold it. And then after that, I repurchased it at 38.5 millimeter, and I can say, like, I like it better. I think the proportion is better compared. By the way, between this one and the 41.5 millimeter, the thickness is the same. So this one is smaller by 3 millimeter in terms of case diameter, but then the thickness is the same as the 41.5 millimeter. Very beautiful dial, guys. Very, very nice, and I like it. And it's also getting rarer and rarer and getting more and more difficult because the Omega has discontinued this piece. And again, this was worn by the James Bond, Daniel Craig in Skyfall, the movie. Just because of that fact, this watch gains some kind of popularity, and again, it's getting harder to find in the market now. And even if, let's say, you can find it, I noticed that the price has started to climb up. And in the market, a lot of people sell the 41.5 millimeter, but not the 38.5 millimeter. So it's rarer in the market. So yeah, guys, basically to sum up, if you want one good quality watch from Omega brand, I mean, this could be it. You can consider it. Very beautiful dial, solid, insanely accurate. Very nice. Yeah, very nice watch from Omega. So yeah, that has been the review of Omega Seamaster Aqua Terra 38.5mm Master Coaxial. I really hope you enjoyed the review, and if you like this review, consider subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you guys. Stay safe. Bye bye.